My next guest and my final guest of the series is one of the most photographed and talked about women in the world. Czechoslovakian by birth, she married one of the richest men in America, and not since the Kennedys has there been such a publicly fated couple. With 3 lovely children, they lived a fairy tale lifestyle with private jets, multi-million-dollar yachts, couture clothes, and all the rest. And as well as that, she had beauty too. But the fairy tale came to an abrupt end when her husband went off with another woman. Faced with public humiliation, the full glare of the world's press, documenting their every word, a lesser mortal would have been tempted to head for the hills. But not this woman. She's made of sterner stuff. Her beauty obscures a high intelligence and a good business acumen. And strangely, divorce has made her a celebrity in her own right. And far from fading away, she has absolutely blossomed. Her latest venture is to write a novel which she insists is not autobiographical. She's come all the way across the Atlantic to be with us tonight. Welcome, please, Ivana Trump. Delighted to have you along. As the music was playing and Moya was singing, I was saying that you look so much better in real life than any of your photographs suggest. You're slimmer, more petite than anything I've ever seen printed of you.
Thank you, that's a great compliment.
There is an image of you that people have, but behind this there is, a real talent, a number of talents. So I want to find out a bit about you first of all. A champion skier as a young woman.
That's right.
What did you do? What did you achieve?
Well, I was alternate for the Olympic Games in Sapporo for Czechoslovakia. So I was really in training since I was about 6 years old in skiing, downhill skiing.
So you are a sports person. You actually achieved something in sport long before you went into other things. As a businesswoman, you were put in charge of a casino in Atlantic City.
That's correct. It was a Trump's Castle Hotel and Casino, which had about 4,500 employees. And I was chief executive officer, and casino really did very well. It was the most profitable hotel casino in the United States.
Okay, people are going to say, well, she got in there because Donald Trump put her in there, and this is the boss's wife coming in to do a job. The employees must have thought that.
Well, from the beginning, I guess they did. On the other hand, they had no choice. I was there. They had to put up with me. But after a while, after about half a year, we were so much ahead of the rest of our competition. They knew that I was doing something right, and I had a fantastic and talented group of people, and we were a team, and we have done wonders. It was really the best run casino.
How did you handle the men? I mean, Atlantic City would be a macho place at the best of times. How did you handle them when you were giving the orders? Do this, do that, do the other.
You do. As a boss, you have to be a leader, and you have to say what you want. You have to tell them, you have to motivate them. But you also are a woman, and you play. So if I did need something out of the man, I would know my way. I would get it. Nice, feminine way. I would get what I wanted.
You exploited your charms.
Not really, not necessarily.
Yeah. And when your breakup happened, you were in the public eye all the time. I mean, if you went to lunch somewhere, someone would take a photograph of you, someone would write something about you. How about publicity? I mean, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but there's got to be the good and the bad about it. Well,
once you become celebrity, there are good things to it, and there are bad things to it. If you have business and if you are visible, it helps your business. It's not that great in your private life. It is a burden, definitely. So with good comes bad, and the publicity in the private life, it's not greatest.
Yeah, how did you react when you saw all this stuff about yourself and talking about you particularly?
Well, you don't like it, of course. But
did you read it all, though?
There is nothing you really can do about it, and most of my newspaper clippings were read by my staff before, because there was no need of anybody to and read something which would hurt you. What you try to do, you try to shelter yourself and your children, and try to survive any bad situation as graciously as you can.
You said that the girls helped you through, your friends.
They did. In matter of fact, I have a lot of the friendship between the women in my book, and I never had a problem with men. That's great, but I never had a problem with the woman either. I have a lot of wonderful ladies friends.
You were on the cover of Vogue in the middle of all of this. Why did you do that? Most people would hide away and
because you really cannot lie down and die. You have to have a confidence that you can do, and you have to pick up yourself and you have to go on with your life. And I had a friend which was a beauty editor of the Vogue, and when she came to me, I told her, Shirley, you must be out of your mind. I really don't feel like doing it. Tell me half a year from now, it will be much better. And she said, no, I think you should do it right now. So I have done it, and it really did lift me up. It was one of the few things, not only that, of course, but it just showed me that you just go on with your life. You do. Don't feel sorry for yourself, and don't dwell on past. Just there is a life up there, and try to make the best of it, and I did.
You changed yourself too. You did a bit of nipping and tucking and various things like that. I thought you were terrific before. I mean, you're beautiful now. Maybe more beautiful, I don't know, but I thought you were terrific before you did all that. Why did you do it?
A lot of people saying tucking and taking, everybody's trying, and the story goes more and more. And
you're not like Cher, you haven't done all that stuff.
I have not done that kind of thing. The people say you had a nose done. I did not. It's still crooked and it's still broken. but I do believe in improvements, and I do believe that you should go and you should see what is in the magazine, how do people dress, what makeup to wear, what hair to do. I do believe if you have a terrible nose, I do believe that you should have something done if you hate it. For some people it is important, for some people it is not. But if which you don't like on yourself, if it really bothers you, improve on it. I believe in that, definitely.
I read a piece Dolly Parton was talking about her, where she got something done, and she's very much into God, and someone had said to her, if God didn't want you to have those, he would have made them small. And she said, well, God gave plastic surgeons hands with which to do the operations. That was her story.
That's a good way of saying it.
And you've learned a lot, obviously, from your experiences. Are you bitter at all?
I'm not bitter. I'm really not, because I had, and I don't regret anything in my life. If I would start and if I had to live my life again, I would do exactly the same.
Exactly the same? Every single little thing?
I really would. I have absolutely no regrets. I had fantastic youth. I was born and raised in Czechoslovakia. I went through training as a skier through the sports, which was great, which gave me the base of everything in life, which means to be competitive, to be organized, to be team player, to be confident. That all comes from sports. And I have a fabulous education. I have masters from Charles University in Prague. And so I came out of Czechoslovakia in
Did
this
you
great
always want to
education.
come out, by the way? I mean, you came out with a good education, a sporting background, beauty, the ability to get on in life. You had great ambition. Did you always want to go west?
I was fortunate because going for ski races to Austria, Switzerland, Germany, France, I could see that there is a better life in the West. And once you know it, once you know that you can achieve and you can make something better out of your life, then you go and you set yourself a goal. And I did not defect. Katrinka in my book did defect, because I have a lot of friends which did leave Czechoslovakia under the communistic regime, and they left without money, without education in many cases, leaving the family behind. They really left with just a pure guts that they could and believe that they could achieve. And most of them did. And I did want to point it out that if you live in America, if you live here, and the people leave Czechoslovakia at 25-year-old, they have a handicap on 25 years because they have to start from scratch. They have to work harder. And that's what immigrants, really stand for. And we work hard and we achieve, and I have achieved.
Your book, For Love Alone, now I stressed at the beginning that you say it's not autobiographical, but there are loads of similarities.
Well, similarity is that Katrinka, she's Czech and she's skier. I was Czech and I was skier. I also could have made her Russian ballerina, would make no difference with the same story. But I love Czechoslovakia and I know so much about
right, so
sport,
it's easy to write the background.
It's just easier for me. I did draw experiences out of my life, from the fashion, from the sports, from the business, from the society. And I did observe, like everybody else does.
But she meets a very wealthy American.
I know, but it could have been coal miner, but I really don't know about coal mining business much. So she did marry and met a wealthy man, but the story is totally different.
But there is a betrayal in it as well, and the girls help out Katrinka to get through it all.
Yeah. But there was a betrayal of not really man, but her girlfriend. And story in my book, it's very much about the relationships of the woman. You know, there is always have to be a triangle in any love story, and I portrayed it that way. But it really, it starts, Adam, which is Katrinka's husband, starts and finishes on the nationality, and that he was a wealthy man.
But in this book, Katrinka has someone she's really in love with, who cannot leave his family because he's a Communist Party official and cannot take the shame of leaving his family and so on. You yourself in your youth, I think, had a very dear friend who was killed in a car crash.
I did, but he was not married. He was a very single man.
Were you in love with him?
Oh yes, definitely, yes.
If he had not been killed, would you still be in Czechoslovakia, do you think?
I probably would.
Was he the love of your life?
I'm not going to go that personal.
Not going to go that personal, but your whole life could have been very different if that had changed, you know, if he had lived.
I probably would get married, and I probably still would go to West, because there is too much, I had too much of the knowledge, how much better you could make life, and I probably still would go West.